You want with Nikki the nitty gritty, even if it's shitty. Guys, how many times do I have to tell you? How many times I have to tell you that when you play the racism game with South Africa, you're swimming with the big boys. When you play Davo racism, deny, attack, reverse, victim and offender, you're swimming with the big boys. Racism is our first language here in South Africa, and so is anti-racism. You guys like to play psychological games. Now, I'm tired of saying it, so I'm just going to demonstrate, no matter where you come from in the world, how you will be handled, no matter what word salad you try to use, no matter how much you try to muddy the waters, no matter how you try to manipulate the facts. It's nothing we haven't seen before. Child's play. Let's have a look. Chidi, show him, baby girl. Show him. Chidi, how? Inzan, please, we need to show the people. What was that, Chidi?
With us now, Tita Medea. She's the politics editor for Eyewitness News, based in Johannesburg, and was in the Oval Office as it happened. Welcome to the program. Thank you.
Thank you.
Were you surprised when you saw that?
No, not necessarily. I was amused by the latest gimmick, for sure, but surprised not so much. I think the South African delegation, South African journalists have been talking about it. We knew the president would walk into some sort of trap. It's not surprising. The invite was there. The desire for the conversation to open up the channels between the USA and South Africa are there. South Africa's been trying, by all means, to try and open up the doors again. And so, no one was surprised.
Okay.
Did we expect the lights to be turned off and a visual illustration? No, not that far.
That is the new the new reality with Donald Trump. The issue here, I think, is an important one about what is actually happening in South Africa.
What is actually happening in South Africa? Why not ask South Africans? Listen. The ink isn't even dry on the papers where we were trying to explain this to the African diaspora about the xenophobia myth. Now we're on to the white genocide myth, fighting a battle on two fronts. South Africans always being called all kinds of names, which, and loudly and widely spread, which aren't even consistent narratives, buddy. Consistent narratives. Pick a struggle.
Is it true that white farmers are being killed in South Africa?
It's an interesting way that you've asked that question. I don't think the issue is what's happening in South Africa.
He tried to corner her with rhetorical questions. Really? We're playing the rhetorical question game? Really? Really? I can't. I've shown this footage on my channel millions of times. I'll play it millions of times more. I can't. I need you guys to pick a struggle, world. You need to pick a struggle. Which one are we? Why is it so hard to think that we could do something better? You know, guys, Donald Trump showed a video. What do you want to say? He showed a video of what he was saying was all kinds of things. What a grave site of how many white South Africans, blah blah blah. Guys, it was a memorial site. It was a memorial site. South Africans care so much about farm murders, and when one couple was murdered, the compassion they showed was to line the streets with crosses.
Footage that you guys have been seeing happened along this section of the road. There was crosses planted on both sides of the road representing lives that have been taken on farms, farm murders.
So the crosses were symbolic?
Yes, the crosses are symbolic.
President Trump claims these were graves of murdered white South African farmers. In fact, they were part of a protest after the killing of Roland's uncle and aunt in 2020.
It's a terrible sight. I've never seen anything like it. Both sides of the road you have crosses. Those people were all killed.
It's a terrible sight, he says. Once again, South Africa on trial for her compassion. One couple dies, and there we go, symbolic. Our compassion that we show. And once again, we're on trial. 5 minutes ago, we were on trial for saying we don't want identity theft. It disproportionately affects black South Africans. Please don't do that. We want South African citizens to be Miss South Africa. We were on trial because she happened to be white. So while we're genociding people, am I clear? We make them Miss South Africa and make them represent us. Because she was a boor. Okay? Then we are also victimizing, let me see, white rugby players by speaking Afrikaans, because our existence as Afrikaans speakers is somehow offensive. And then we are victimizing African Americans by existing as colored people. So we're always on trial. Pick a struggle, world. Pick a struggle. Let's hear what Roland has to say.
What made you stay in this community that took something so precious from you?
I think the big thing that's made me stay is that we've been a family that have been in the community for many, many generations. And it's not easy for me just to leave. I still love this country enough to be able to stay. And I think if we can just join hands, and I think there's more than enough people in the country, black and white, that are willing to take hands and try and make this country a success.
You see, you're weaponizing black and white relations in South Africa, Afrikaner and black relations in South Africa. Listen from the horse's mouth.
So the video footage that you generations, and it's not easy for me just to leave. I still love this country enough to be able to stay. And I think if we can just join hands, and I think there's more than enough people in the country, black and white, that are willing to take hands and try and make this country a success.
We say that as a united front, black, white, colored, and Indian South Africans, there are more than enough people willing to take hands and make our country great, okay? Like, really great, not the discount that's other countries. Ooh, let me not go there, okay? So, really.
Is it true that white farmers are being killed in South Africa?
It's an interesting way that you've asked that question. I don't think the issue is what's happening in South Africa. I think the issue is what's being peddled about what's happening in South Africa.
It's an interesting way that you've asked that question. I love it. She called out a psychological game there. Let me just get the proper timestamp and do it in a different program so that we can hear it louder. I have received criticism for my sound. I'm well aware that it's bad. I do apologize. I'm not sure what to do about it.
It's an interesting way that you've asked that question. I don't think the issue is what's happening in South Africa. I think the issue is what's being peddled about what's happening in South Africa. If you watch today's engagement, let me get to the point first. If you watch that entire engagement, the recognition, the painful recognition, the startling truth of crime in South Africa, violent crime, was actually uttered by everybody there from South Africa. Is it targeted towards a specific group? Is it an ethnic cleansing? That's the question, right? Based on what's been said about South Africa.
Yep, the issue is what's being peddled about South Africa, and what's consistently being peddled, as I have said multiple times on this channel, is inconsistent. It is inconsistent. Okay, I've shown this footage before. I'll show it again.
And rumors of something sinister happening in South Africa.
And they're bordering on genocide now.
So please explain to me, you who don't live with black South Africans, how these two narratives are consistent.
She was contesting in Miss South Africa, where South Africans feel like she couldn't represent them because she's African and black, literally.
It's racist. I'm not a racist, but the blacks comes first, and then the whites. And even highly qualified whites don't even get a position in South Africa.
I've shown it before, I'll show it again. Pick a struggle, world. Pick a struggle. Sidi, come, let's tell them.
The world over, at least people allowed to Donald Trump and Elon Musk. That's not a fact.
Okay, so we don't deny that there's a lot of violent crime in South Africa, right? Seven times the murder rate.
Across the board.
Okay, so the issue is whether or not, I guess...
She doesn't allow him to interrupt, and she makes sure her point is heard across the board.
Whites are being targeted disproportionately. Is that what you're taking issue with?
No, that would be the claim. The issue is that the claim is falsehood. White people are not being targeted, Leland. Nobody.
In fact, disproportionately, they're safer.
So when
crime is experienced by everybody, not just white people.
Was chanting, kill, kill, you have to kill to be part of a revolution, on and on. He was talking about killing blacks or killing whites?
Do you need the context of what that song is? Because you can't take out the context of what that is. That is actually important.
He plays the rhetorical question game, and she hits him right back with the rhetorical question. Don't try your psychological abuse here. Don't.
It cannot be that he's giving an instruction when that's not the fact. I think we do need to take into consideration the context. What he's chanting is an anti-apartheid song that was sang by leaders in the lead up to apartheid. The back and forth today about that song.
They're trying so hard. Bully pulpit South Africa forced to defend genocide claim. You are a bully pulpit, but we're accustomed to bullies. Accustomed. And the reality of South Africa is that we know how to handle it.
Is whether or not it's relevant in modern day South Africa. Should we still be singing that song? If there's a grouping in the country
how can you be
that feels
singing a song?
otherwise.
How can somebody be defending singing a song that's talking about killing other people?
I'm not defending singing the song. I'm saying to you that's the conversation that's
So don't you think white farmers would be scared when they heard that song?
And that's the question that's being put to Julius Malema. I said to you that conversation is happening. It's put to Julius Malema that when you do this, this is what we worry about. But
exactly, we are handling it as South Africans. We are talking about it. We're saying, we criticize songs like that. We don't need you to come and sweep around our front door, sweep around your own.
when you look at how long he's been singing the song and whether it correlates with the numbers of farmers under attack, particularly white people, it's not there. People who are being attacked on the farms are farm dwellers and farm workers. That's also a reality that's got to be.
If white farmers are not being targeted or white farmers are not being killed, why are so many who have big land holdings willing to give up their entire lives to come to a...
So many. You invited 1,500. 49 showed up. 49 showed up. Now, I'm not a maths genius, but 150 is 10%. You couldn't even get a third of that. The pass rate in South Africa is so low. It's 30%. You even failed by our standards.
America.
Where are they? Show them to me.
We had them land.
Those 49 people are not farmers. There are plenty of reports from South Africa that many of those are not farmers. Those are chances. Please, again, show me the evidence. Those are people taking an opportunity.
Chances, people who take chances.
America's given them an opportunity.
You're saying
they're not farmers.
I'm just trying to figure this out. You're saying that your president has not in any way targeted whites, even though Elon Musk, who was there, can't get a license for his business.
He was where?
In the Oval Office.
He was in the Oval Office. He's never been to South Africa. When was the last time Elon Musk was in South Africa?
But he can't get.
When was the last time he was in South Africa? His father, Elon Musk's father.
I'm not talking about when he was there.
No,
hold on.
I want to also make you understand one thing.
The accusation is that many whites cannot get licenses to do business, among them Elon Musk. That's not
so
true
we're
either?
being forced to undermine our transformative laws. We must be okay.
Yeah, winner. He is allowed a license to do business in South Africa. All he's been asked is to make sure that 30% of those are black. That is part of our laws in South Africa. We don't shy away from that. There is a very real reason why we need to do that. We shouldn't have to defend that every 5 seconds.
With the South Africa, with the majority that is denied of their own land, with the majority is deprived of access to economic transformations and means of production, we must be okay and not move the needle in any way to try and fix that. We must be okay with South Africa being labeled the most unequal country in the world and not try and do anything to rectify it.
We must just take it. We must just take it lying on our backs and not fix the inequality. I've had people, even well-meaning people, going, why do you guys define yourself as black, white, colored, and Indian? Because we have to be honest about something to change it. You can't just call cancer a cold. Okay, we have to be honest because economically it's important to bring the equality up by facing it. Okay? And that's how it is, and that's what we choose to do. Any questions?
But that's what that argument says.
No, but the fact of
there are laws.
The fact of the matter is
they must be bent for an individual.
No, they must.
That is what the question is.
But if you make laws that target a certain race, don't.
But there are none of those. Where are those, Leland? You're calling me as a journalist.
Name the laws. Name the laws, Leland. Name the laws then, because I can name a law: the Natives Land Act of 1913. How about the Prohibition of Mixed Marriages Act? How about the Population Registration Act? All of which started with, be it enacted in the name of the Queen, be it enacted in the name of the King. Name the laws that you are claiming. Name them. What's the name of the law? Let's go look.
From South Africa, and you're putting those to me. I'm asking you for the proof. Donald Trump today, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to lecture a little bit. Donald Trump today called us in there, saying he's got proof of a genocide. South Africa's gone to the ICJ saying that they believe
Israel
is committing a genocide
a whole other thing. They're the same ones who support Hamas.
But they put evidence on the table.
So does South Africa.
They put evidence on the table.
South Africa supports
a chant is not proof of genocide.
Yes, it is.
A private monument with fake crosses and not actual gravesites is not proof of a genocide. I don't believe that I'm being called in here to defend the indefensible. Those things aren't facts.
Okay.
Donald Trump did not put facts on the table.
You say that. We obviously have the president. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Yeah.
Oh wait, he couldn't handle it. Thank you very much. He couldn't handle it, guys. Here's the only law that you need to know. The Constitution of the Republic of South Africa. I've read it before and I shall read it again. Okay? We the people of the Republic of South Africa recognize the injustices of our past. Okay, we recognize the injustices of our past. Honor those who suffered for justice and freedom of our land. Respect those who have worked to build and develop our country. And believe that South Africa belongs to whom? To all who live in it, united in our diversity. Believe that South Africa belongs to all who live in it, united in our diversity. The highest law in the land says this. We therefore, through our freely elected representatives, adopt this constitution as the supreme law of the public so as to heal the injustices of the past and establish a society based on democratic values, social justice, and fundamental human rights. Lay the foundations for a democratic and open society in which government is based on the will of the people and every citizen is equally protected by law. Every citizen. Improve the quality of life for all citizens and free the potential of each person. Build a united and democratic South Africa able to take its rightful place as a sovereign state in the family of nations. May God protect our people. That's English. Nkosi sikelele Africa. That covers both Zulu and Xhosa. Morena buluka sitjhaba sa Yesu. I believe that covers both Sesotho and Setswana. Then it said Khotsi in South Africa. That is in Afrikaans. Then God bless South Africa. And then I don't know how to pronounce these because those are not necessarily languages that I speak. Okay, I do recognize Mudzimu, but I can't pronounce this. Okay, but it's the same thing over and over. God bless South Africa in so many different languages. Okay, so while you guys want to come and talk nonsense about my country, you're going to learn our anthem. And this is the truth of who we are. You don't get to obfuscate our narratives. You don't get to take the narrative out of our mouths. This is us. This is our truth.
Which will be sung by you and KB Motsilanyane and signed today by Lisa Nkatla.
That was the Xhosa language. Zulu language. Different races standing as one, united by the love for the world's most beautiful country. Sesotho is this language. Tonal change because the black and white anthem's coming together. Afrikaans language. The newest part of the anthem in English. And united we shall stand. Let us live and strive for freedom. They don't know what we know. In South Africa, our land. Now, since you guys want to talk nonsense about my country, you're going to listen to a translation of that. Okay? You're going to listen to my personal translation.
Voted the most beautiful anthem in the world for its power to transform a nation, it is the only anthem written in 5 languages and the only anthem with a tonal change. For many South Africans, listening to this video will be the first time they hear the anthem in one language, and for many of them, the only language they might understand. Thank you so much and enjoy. God bless our nation, South Africa. Raise her beauty to the skies. Hear our prayer, to you we cry, prayers of each African child. Father, we ask you just for peace. May all the fighting and anger cease. Give our family a just release. Guard us, defend our home, protect our South Africa. From the depths of our blue oceans, from the breadth of our blue skies, o'er our everlasting cliffsides, where the voice of a nation cries. A little note on the English part here. That is the youngest part of our anthem.
I go on here to explain how in our flag there's a Y, and it's all symbolic of how white and black South Africans came together. You see, the narrative of South Africa belongs in the mouths of South Africa and South Africa alone. My nation is not merely fodder for you to use to push through your own narratives and to sit and fight with each other and deal with issues that you can't deal with from sea to shining sea. Sweep around your own front door, United States. Sweep around your own front door. This is South Africa. Okay? Please keep your things in America. Okay? You're not going to sit and mind our business because you guys can't handle your racial tension. We're doing just fine. Okay? You know what? Actually, I didn't expect this song to show up. It won't. They'll probably copyright me for this song. But there's a song called here, Dis 'n Land. I actually have a translation of it. Yes, they won't copyright me for the translation. But it's done by this white Afrikaner boer guy over here. You can see him. Look at how the love that he sings with our nation. I think it was a sign that I should play it for you. I will play it for you from my very own channel. I actually forgot that I had a translation. So, you know what? Let's do that. Because you guys want to be hard-headed. So where is it?
Land wat my geluk bring. Dis 'n land van kleur en klank. Dis 'n land van voorvloed en dank. Dis 'n land waar almal na strewe. Dis 'n land sonder horison en dis 'n land wat weet hy kan. Ook 'n bly plek meer leef vir asseblief laat ek vertel van 'n land waarin ek woon en al die drome wat ek droom wel. Gee my 'n kans om te verduidelik hoe dit voel, om met trots te sê ek's Afrikaans en dit te kan betoon, om 'n pannetjie te eet en die met diepe jive te doen. Huisgenoot, Stellenbosch en mannetjies roe, as die Cape Flats, die kaptein loftes toe, maak jou venster waarwyd oop as jy na Makwaland toer en voel die wind, as my land jou roep. Dis 'n land van
That is a song by a white Afrikaner boer, a very popular song about our country, South Africa. Really? And you guys are spreading what you're spreading.
Asseblief laat ek jou wys, hoekom noem ek hierdie crazy land nog steeds my huis? Dis die land van goeie hoop en Tassenberg, die komma in jou bloed en die kombers oor Tafelberg. Altyd gedroom om te kan wees soos David Kramer, en elke liewe Sondag was dit tyd vir die Onse Vader. Seën asseblief hierdie land waarin ons woon, en al die ander mense wat soos ek van vrede droom, en liefde volop soos die sterre in die klein Karoo. Dis 'n land van kleur en klank, dis 'n land van oorvloed en dank, dis 'n land waar almal na strewe.
'n land van oorvloed en dank. En my land is ouliker as joune. Julle is blerrie jaarloos man, en julle hou daarvan om kaak te praat. Hou jou bek en bly weg van my land. Call it cheesy if you want, but you can't doubt the love there. You can't doubt the love, okay? And here's how true South Africans feel. I can't even believe that song. I made it years ago, okay? Most of us want to be in our country, because here's how we feel. Mense is jaarloos. Hulle moet weggaan. Hou hier se blerrie tramp.
We cross Zimbabwe's border, flew over dry fields of the homeland, coming into Joburg, and Santin swimming pools and the Soweto shacks, airports and railway stations, stranded with the red pack and guitar. The languages and the places change, and the sky has different stars.
Maybe walking in the streets of a city called London, but the dust on my boots and the rhythm of my feet and my heartbeat say Africa. I may be walking in the streets of a city called Amsterdam, but the dust on my boots and the rhythm of my feet and my heartbeat say Africa. Say Africa. Say Africa. Say Africa. Say Africa. Say Africa. Say Africa.
I play music about South Africa all the time because you guys can spread all the hate you want, but our songs are who we are.
Sticks and stones and the UN loan and passport controls for countries that don't exist. It's a big world, they have their own problems everywhere, and there's scope to that clash feast. People ask me where I'm from. I said, Mamelodi Township, in a city called Tshwane, meaning me at the same. I have a friend who's a great musician, and he's from Mepai, near King Williamstown. You know where Steve Biko was born? You might have heard us in a film about Africa. It's a big continent with a great gift of Ubuntu.
Maybe walking in the streets
Of a state called Ohio.
say Africa. I may be walking in the streets
Of a state called Idaho. That's where the Afrikaners are going.
say Africa.
Say Africa. Say Africa.
It may not fit your narrative about what Africa is. A diverse nation, black, white, colored, and Indian. In fact, the most genetically diverse nation in the world. The Rainbow Nation. Proud. It may not fit your narrative, but you need to adjust your narrative to the reality of what South Africa is. You know, we're not going to fit our reality to your small little narrative. I say this on behalf of all South Africans, no matter what their race, the color of their skin. This is our hearts. These lyrics that are about to come by, no matter what you think, no matter how you define us from the Department of Home Affairs. Here it comes. Gingum Africa, Africa kaya lami, izwe ucela ukhuluma That's us. The truth of who we are. You can't refute that. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The UK may have invented rugby, but South Africa is where you come to learn how it's played. And as for you in the United States, right? You may have written, "United we shall stand," but it's from South Africa where you will learn how that is lived. Nuance with Nikki. Ciao for now.